Viking ships at sunrise. Viking ship at sunrise. Prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, the mysterious trio appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found that it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to the places in the books. All they had to do was to point at the picture and wish to go there. Along the way, they discovered that the truth belongs to Morgan Leslie. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She travels through time and space, gathering books. In the 매직트리하우스 of book 8 minus 12, Jack and Annie solved 4 ancient riddles and became master librarians. To help them in their future tasks, Morgan gave Jack and Annie secret library cards with the letters M on them. As master librarian, Jack and Annie must go on 4 missions to save stories from ancient librarians. They have already bought back a scroll from the ancient Roman town and Babylon from the ancient China. Now they're about to head out their 3rd mission. Before town 1. Jack opened his eyes. A thin gray light came through his window. His clock read 5 a.m. All was quiet. Today we're going to ancient era. He thought back more than 1,000 years. Morgan Le Fay had told him that it was a very dangerous time, with Vikings raid the coast. You wait, came a whisper, and he stood on the doorway. She was dressed and ready to go. Yeah, meet you outside, said Jack as he climbed out of the bed. He pulled his jeans, t-shirt, and sneakers. He put the secret library card into his backpack with a notebook and a pencil. Then he hurried downstairs and was waiting for him in the yard. The air was damp and misty. Ready? She asked. Jack took a deep breath. I guess he said. She was a little worried about the Viking. They walked silently over the road grass. Then they ran up the street and into the frosty woods. Mist clung to the trees as they walked through the dark woods. It's hard to see, said Jack. Where's the treehouse? Asked Annie. I have no idea, said Jack. Just then something fell in front of them. Watch out, shouted Jack. It's covered, he said. The ladder, cried Annie. Jack opened his eyes. The rope ladder from the magic ship dangled in front of them. Jack looked up. The treehouse was hidden in the mist. Come on, let's go, said Annie. She grabbed the ladder and started up. Jack followed. They climbed through the wet air and into the tree. Hello, said Morgan. I'm glad to see you. She was sitting in the corner. At the feet were a scroll they brought back from Roman time and the bamboo book from China. I'm so glad to see you, said Jack. Me too, said Annie. It's so good that you both came early, said Morgan. She reached into the fold of her robe and pulled a piece of paper. Here's the essence story you must find, she said. Morgan handed the paper to Jack. On it were the words, Opens Magna. The mysterious writing reminded Jack of the writing of the tree of the Roman town of Poppy. That looks like a Latin, he said. Very good, said Morgan. It is Latin, but I saw they spoke Latin after Rome, said Annie. Aren't we going to Iran? You are, said Morgan. But during the Dark Ages in Europe, educated people wrote in Latin. The Dark Ages? Said Jack. Yes, said Morgan. The time after the fall of the Roman
Empire.
Why is it called dark? Asked Jack. It was a difficult time, said Morgan. People had worked very hard just to feed the clothes themselves. There were a lot of time for playing, learn to make art and music. Morgan took a book from her robe. Your research, she said, handing it to Annie. The title reads, Ireland Long Ago. Remember, said Morgan, your research book will guide you. But in your darkest hour, only the answer story can save us, Jack. And only the ancient story can save us, Jack and Annie say together. And remember this, said Morgan, it must be your darkest hour when there is no hope left. If you ask for help too soon, it will not come. And we have to find the store first, said Annie. That is true, said Morgan. Do you have your secret library card? Jack and Annie nodded. Show them the wittiest person you meet, said Morgan. Don't worry, said Annie. I think we're ready now. Annie pointed to the cover and Ireland books. I wish we could go there, she said. She gave Morgan a little wave. See you soon. Good luck, said Morgan. The wind started to blow. The trio started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. The skip gleamed. Jack opened his eyes. The light was still gray, but the air was even damper and colder than in Frog Creek. Wow, I'm in a long dress, said Annie. It's scratchy. Hey, I've got a little purse on my belt. It has my labyrinth card in it. Jack looked down at his own clothes. He was wearing a shirt and trousers made of heavy wool. He also wore leather slippers, and in place the backpack was a leather bag. Wow, said Annie, looking out the window. This is real. It looks like Dark Ages. Jack looked out too. He couldn't see anything through the mist. It's just because the sun not up yet, she said. I'd better check the book. Annie handed the Ireland book to Jack. He opened and read aloud. The early middle of ages were once known as the Dark Ages. Become learning the culture nearly vanished throughout Europe. Scouts today, Paris, and brave Irish monks who helped keep civilization life. What do you civilization that monk mean? Asked Annie. I think civilization is when people have books and art and good manners, said Jack. Monks are religious people who spend their time praying and reading and helping people. Well, I don't see any civilization or monks fasting, said Annie, pointing at the mist. Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, brave monks in Ireland. See? Then she looked at Annie. If we find the civilization, I think we'll find the lost story, she said. Let's go, said Annie. She left her skirt and climbed out the window. Jack read more in the Ireland book. The monks of copied and Iceland ratings of the Western world before printing was invented. All books had to be written, copied by hand. Hey, we're on a cliff, Annie called from outside above the ocean. Be careful, said Jack. He stuffed his iron book and his notebook into his leather bag. Then he climbed out the window and he was peering over the edge. Look too. There was a rocky and 20 feet below. The waves shake against the rocks. The sea goes swoop and glide above the sea. It doesn't look like there's any civilization down there, said Jack. Maybe we should climb those, said Annie. She pointed to the steep steps cut into the cliff. Jack looked up. The cliff also rose above them in the mist. We better wait till the sun comes up, he said. Let's just go super slow, said Annie. She started up the stone steps. Wait, Annie, said Jack. They might be slippery. Whoa, she said. I almost falling backward. I tripped on my thorn grass. I told you to wait, Jack said. It's too dangerous. Just then something fell from above. Watch it, said Jack. He put his hand over his head. Hey, it's a rope, said Annie. Jack saw a thick rope dangling down the stairs. Where did this come from, he asked. It's like when Morgan dropped the ladder to us, said Annie. I bet someone's trying to help us. Yeah, but who? Said Jack. Let's find out, said Annie. She grabbed the rope. I'll use it first. Once I'm at the top, you can come after me. Okay, but hurry, she said, and be very careful. Jack waited and he started to climb up the steps. Bravo! Annie held on to the rope as she climbed slowly up the stairs. Soon she vanished over the top of the cliff. Watch up there! Jack shouted, but his voice was lost in the sound of the waves. He grabbed the rope, started up the steep steps. At the top of the cliff, he pulled himself over the edge. Ah! Boomed a deep, jolly voice, each another little invader. Brother Patrick. Jack's glasses were wet with mist. He quickly whipped them, then looked up. A man in brown robe stood before him. The man had a round red face. He was bald, except for a fringe of hair around his head. Nearby, the rope was tied around the tree. I'm not a invader, said Jack. He's Jack, said Annie. She was standing behind the maid. I'm Annie. We're from Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. We come in the peace, stammered Jack. The man's blue eyes twinkled. Oh, do you know? He said. I wondered what was going on. I had dropped the rope so I could climb down the steps, but you two grabbed it instead. How in the world did you get on this island? Jack stared at the man. He didn't know he explained the matter. Yeah. In our boat, Annie said quickly. The man looked puzzled. Not many boats came along the shore at the start early hour. Well, we were very good sailors. They said, oh brother, thought Jack. He hopped there. Sailing skills wouldn't be tested. Where exactly are we? Said Annie. And who exactly are you? You're an island off the coast of Ireland, the man said, and I'm a brother Patrick. Whose brother are you? Said Annie. The monk smiled. The brother means I'm a Christian monk. Oh, you're the monk who saved civilization, asked Annie. The man smiled again. Annie turned to Jack and whispered, let's show him our cards. I trust him. Okay, said Jack. He trusted the monk too. They both pulled out their secret library cards and showed them to the brother Patrick. The M's and L's for Master Librarian shined the gray light. The monk looked at them and bowed his head. Welcome, my friend, he said. Thank you, said Jack and Annie. I did not really think you were inviters, said Brother Patrick. But on our small island, we are careful of strangers. Why, said Annie? There are terrible stories about Viking riders, he said. When we see their serpent ships, we must hide or be taken as slaves. Serpent ships, said Jack. The prow of their ships are often carved at the shape of the serpent head, said Brother Patrick. I am afraid it stands for their first called the blooded waves. Jack looked at the mystic gray sea. Do not worry, said Brother Patrick. They cannot land safely on this island before daylight. They're not good sailors as some people. He winked at Annie. Too bad for them, he said cheerfully. But tell me, why have you come here? Asked Brother Patrick. Oh, said Jack, I almost forgot. He pulled Morgan paper from his leather bag. He showed the Latin words to the monk. Erpen Magna. This is the title of the story that we have to take back to our friend and teacher, Morgan Le Fay. Said Annie. I see, said Brother Patrick. He gave Jack and Annie a mysterious look. What's he thinking? Jack wondered. But the monk changed his that subject. I think you would like to visit our monastery, he said. What's that? Said Danny. The place where the monks live and work, said Brother Padre. Come, but the sun is not up yet, said Jack. Won't others be asleep? Oh no, said Brother Padre. There's someone. We rise long before daylight. We have so much to do, you'll see. The monk led them up the dirt path. Jack hoped their book was at the monastery. He wanted to leave the gloomy island with its threat of Viking invaders as soon as possible. A low bell steered to the ring. Jack saw a lonely church steeple against the gray sky ahead. Books of Wonder. The monastery held a stone wall around it. Brother Patrick took the Jack and Annie through the gate. Beyond and the gate was a small church with a hanging bell. There was also a vegetable garden and 6 stones hung shaped like drum beehives. We grow all our own food, said Brother Patrick. Turnips, spinach, wheat, and beans. He led them to the entrance of the first hut. Jack and Annie peeked inside. The monk was pulling flat bread from a low stone oven. This is our bakery, Brother Patrick said. It smells good, said Annie. Come along, Brother Patrick said. They pointed to each hut and passed. There were sleeping quarters, he said, and there were spinner clothes in here, with a couple of sandals. There were craver wooden tools. In each of the huts, Jack and Annie could see monks. They were busy spinning or combining or carving. Finally, Brother Patrick came to the largest beehive-like hut. I have saved the best for last, he said. This is where we do our most important work. He stepped inside. Jack and Annie followed. A hut with a warm, peaceful, yet very alive, and glowed with the golden light of many candles. Monks sat at the wooden tables. Some were writing and painting in books. This is our library, said Brother Patrick. Here we study math, history, and pottery. We play chess and we make books. Jack and Annie think this isn't it. What? Said Jack. Civilization, even Brother Patrick laughed. Yes, this is where civilization hides. This is where we do our almost important work. Step it inside. Oh my God. On top of our lonely island in the sea. Oh man, said Jack, I love this place. What kind of books do you make here? Asked Annie. Books of wonder, said Brother Patrick. We record Christian stories as well as the old myths of our real land. Myths, said Jack? Yes, said Brother Patrick. They were gathered from the storytellers, the old woman in the sing of tales of long ago, when people believed in magic. Wow, said Annie. Come, said Brother Patrick. Look at the book of Brother Mitchell. He had worked on it the whole life. Brother Patrick led Jack and Annie over to an old monk. The monk was a painting blue border around one of the pages in a book. Mitchell, these two master laborers from far away. Would you like to see your work? Say, Brother Patrick. The old monk looked up at Jack and Annie. He wrinkled his face, broke into a smile. Welcome, said Brother Mitchell in a thin, shaky voice. Hi, said Annie. Brother Mitchell showed them the cover of his book. He was discovered with gleaming red and blue jewels. Then he turned the pages. Each was covered with fancy writings on detailed paintings in green, gold, and blue. I wish I could paint like that, said Danny. It's beautiful, whispered Jack. Thank you, said Brother Mitchell. How do you make a book like this? Asked Annie. I write on sheepskin and use goose quill pens, said Brother Mitchell. My paints are made of earth and plants. Wow, said Annie. So Mitchell, what you are seeking? Brother Patrick said. All right, Jack. He pulled out the paper Morgan had given them. He showed the last writing to the old monk. Brother Mitchell nodded. Yes, he said with a smile. I know that one quite well. Brother Mitchell turned the page he had been painting with the blue border. He pointed to the writing at the top of the page. The words were Urpens Magna. Worship on the wave. We found our story, said Jack. Yay, said Danny. Indeed, said Brother Patrick. But alas, Brother Mitchell has not yet completed his work. You will have to return for it. Oh, shoot, said Danny. Jack was disappointed too. I don't know if we'll be able to come back, he said. I don't know if we can even leave without the story, said Annie. Brother Patrick looked puzzled. The two kids looked at each other, then back at Brother Patrick. It was too hard to explain about the treehouse and how the magic worked. Jack shrugged. We'll just have to try, he said. Outside the church, bell began ringing. It's time now for sunrise prayer. The Brother Patrick, will you join us? Thanks, but we better try to go home now, said Jack. Brother Patrick nodded and led them into the garden. When they opened the gates, they saw a hizzoing glowing pink and purple. The sun had started to rise. No one spoke at the great burly bull rose slowly over the ocean. Finally, Brother Patrick broke the silence. Shine, oh light of the sun, he said softly. On this day, filled with wonder, that's beautiful, said Annie. Jack smiled and he agreed. Brother Patrick turned to them. It is such sight as the Empress of bookmaking, he said. Now, go and may God be with you on the voyage home. Thanks, said Jack and Danny. Do you need me to guide you to your boat? He asked. I don't think so, said Jack. Follow the path to the top of the cliff, said Brother Patrick. Then use my rope to help you down the steps. Okay, said Danny. Bye. And she went through the gate. Jack wanted to go home, but he hated leaving the monastery. It was filled with people doing his favorite things, reading and learning. I really like it here, he said to Brother Patrick. I'm glad, but you must go now while the weather is with you, said the monk. Everything can change in an instant. Then Brother Patrick turned and went into the church. Jack hurried out the gate. Before he went further, he stopped and pulled out his notebook. He quickly made 2 lists to make a book. Sheepskin, goose quill paint, to make paint, earth plant. Come on, they then called from the top of the steps. Coming, Jack called. He put away his notebook and ran along the dirt path to the edge of the cliff. Overhead, flocks of gulls circled in the purple sky. Their cries sounded like screams. What's wrong with them? Jack said. Maybe they always do this at sunrise, said Annie. Let me go first. Crouching rope started down the steps. Jack grabbed the rope and started down the bridge. Cries went on. They worried him. They sounded like warnings. Jack reached the rocky ledge and let go of the rope. Let's go. Annie called from the treehouse. Jack looked at the horizon one last time. His heart nearly stopped. A ship was out, leaning against the sky. Behind it, he saw 2 smaller ships. As the ship came into view, the bright sails were filled with wind and serpents, proud and laughed. A new suddenly. Oh no, Jack whispered. Vikings! The Viking coming. Annie, cried Jack. Vikings! Annie looked out the treehouse window. Vikings! They're headed straight for the island. Jack, said Jack. He turned back to the stone steps. Where are you going? Cried Annie. I warned the monks. Jack said. I'll come too, cried Annie. They scrambled out of the treehouse. Hurry, said Jack. Jack didn't even use the rope. He pulled himself up the steep steps with his hands. As Jack and Annie climbed up the face of the cliff, clouds began to cover the sun. When they reached the top, a fog had almost hidden the securing ship. Run, cried Annie. The fog blanked the whole island. Jack and Annie could barely see the path to the monastery. And they arrived at the gate of misty white marble once silent. Vikings! Jack cried. Vikings! The monks are still in church, said Annie. The young bell rang. Dong, dong. Jack and Annie watched Brother Patrick and the other monks ran out of the church. The Vikings are coming! Jack shouted. Brother Patrick, both his face turned white. Make haste, said the other monks. Gather the books and hide. The monks ran into the library. Brother Patrick turned to Jack and Annie. We have a secret hiding place, to cave on the other side of the island, he said. You can come with us, but I am not certain you will be safe. Don't worry, said Jack. We are going to try to go home. Do not use the steps, Brother Patrick said. The Vikings will climb them. Then how do we get down? Said Jack. Go that way, said Brother Patrick, pointing at the cliff edge are 2 large rocks. A path between the rocks will take you down to the shore. Then you can walk to your boat. Now, said Annie. Be careful, said Brother Patrick. He hurried inside the library. Wait, came the thin voice. Jack and Annie turned to run. It was Brother Mitchell. He hobbled over to them, holding out his book of Irish tales. Take it, he said. Are you sure? Said Jack. He knew it was Brother Mitchell's life's work. Please see, Brother Winchell. It is better than the world should have some of it than none at all. We'll take a good care of it. The Jack gently placed the used book in his leather bag. The young Jack waved goodbye to the old man. Then they reached to the rock that Brother Patrick had told them about. Rock-bound. As the rock, the circle still stretched. Jack could barely see the steep path leading down into the fog. Go slowly, Jack whispered to Annie as they started down. Whoopsie, he slipped and fell forward, bumping into Jack. My foot got caught in my stupid dress, said Jack, and held on to Annie. They listened, and pebbles and rocks rolled down the cliff. Jack took a brief breath. We've got to watch out for the Vikings, too, he whispered. They started down the steep path again. They went on the step at a time. They found that the waves against the rocks grew louder. Finally, they stepped down onto the flat, striped pebbles. Where are we? Whispered Annie. I don't know, said Jack. Oh, look, said Annie. She pointed to the shoreline. Through the fog rose the serpents proud of the Viking ships. Jack and Annie crept closer to the ships. They sailed were down. Each ship had been tied to a tall jack rock. They seemed deserted as they bobbed into the shallow waves. Jack really wanted to check out the ships, but he was afraid of wasting time. We'd better find the tree out, he said to Annie. They grabbed away from the three Viking ships. Suddenly the boats rose. Through a mist, they saw a group of Vikings warriors. The Vikings were looking at the top of the cliff. Their long yellow hair hung down from beneath their iron helmets. They carried round wooden shields and swords and axes. It looked like they're planning to climb the cliff, whispered Annie. We need to hide until they go, whispered Jack. Then we can look for the trio. Jack was happy to see that the sides of the smallest ship were very low. They would easily be able to climb over them. You go first, said Annie. Jack waded through the shallow water. It was cold. He reached to the tips and grabbed one side. He pushed himself up and onto the ship's deck. The ship jerked forward. Jack looked at the shore. It was now 30 feet away. The ship anchoring rope was pulled tight. The serpent pole bobbed up and down with the waves. The fog and the movement, the ship made Jack feel as though he was in a dream. For a moment, he forgot to be scared of the Vikings. This is so cool, he called. Come on, Annie. Annie started to wade down the ship. Suddenly, she disappeared. Annie, called Jack. Her head popped out of the water. She splashed with her arms. It's deep, she gasped. My dress is too heavy. Use the rope, called Jack, like when we climbed the stairs. And he grabbed the rope that stretched from ship to shore. It held a weight as she began itching along it. Hold on tight, cried Jack. I am, gasped Annie. She kept going hand over hand, along the rope toward the ship. When Annie got close to the ship, Jack reached out to help her. As he pulled her in, the side of the ship dipped down. Then the rope went flat. The Viking ship slid out to sea, lost at sea, and he fell to the deck of the ship. Jack pulled the rope out of the water. The end of it was still tied in a loop. What happened? Asked Annie. We're heading out to sea, said Jack. I guess all the pulling lifted the rope off the rock. Annie sat up and looked at the misty windows. I can't see the island, she said. I can't see anything, said Jack. Annie looked at Jack. Do you think this is our darkest hour? She asked. I don't know, said Jack. Maybe the book will help. He pulled out the research book. He found a picture of a Viking ship. He read the caption aloud. Viking warship were the best ship of their times. When there were no wind, the crew take down the sails and row with the oars. The smallest ship had 4 rowers, and the largest had many as 32. Rowers sat on the boxes and stored their belongings. Great, said Annie, jumping up. This isn't our darkest hour. Why would you say that? Asked Jack. There's still hope, said Annie. We can row the other side of the island and find the treehouse. Are you nuts? Said Jack. Please, Jack, said Annie. Can we just try? She grabbed one of the oars. She can barely lift it. Forget it, Annie, said Jack. It takes 4 big Viking guys to row this thing. You're too little. I'm too little. Come on, Jack. Just try, said Annie. You get an oar too. We'll sit on boxes across from each other. Oh, brother, said Jack, and he dragged her along or over the storage box. I'm not doing this alone, she said. Jack groaned. Then he dragged an oar to the box across from Annie. Cool, said Annie. She peered into a storage box. Look, one for each of us. She lifted out 2 small Viking helmets. Maybe these were made for Viking kids who sometimes ride the ships, said Annie. Maybe, said Jack. He hadn't thought of Vikings as real people before, people with families and little kids. Annie pulled off her scarf and put the helmet on her head. Now I feel like a Viking too, she said. I bet it will help me row. She handed Jack a helmet. He put it on. It made him feel a little different. I don't know about this, he said. The helmet wasn't as heavy as one that were in the time of travel, but it was still pretty heavy. Well, I'm braver with mine on, said Annie. Jack smiled. He didn't know how Annie could be braver than she already was. Ready to row? She asked. Yep, said Jack. He was feeling braver himself. The wind picked up as Jack lifted his heavy oar and over the side of the ship. He lowered into the water, but the current was so strong that the oar was ripped. from his hands. Jack fell over backwards as his oar slipped into the sea. I lost my oar, Annie yelled. Jack looked up as the rain started to fall. The sky was black. A gush of sweat through water poured over the side of the ship. Brrr, said Annie as she tried to stand. The black sky shook with thunder and flashed with lightning. Jack crawled to the side of the ship and pulled himself up. Another huge wave was coming right toward them. It's our darkest hour now, cried Annie. Get Brother Mitchell's book. Jack reached into the leather bag. He pulled out the jeweled book and held it up. Save a story, he cried, and looked at the sea again. What he saw made him scream. Riding from an oncoming wave was a giant sea serpent. Sea monster! The serpent's head rose higher and higher above the water. Jack couldn't move. He's beautiful, said Annie. Beautiful, cried Jack. The serpent's neck was as tall as 2-story buildings. Its green scales were covered with sea slime. Go away, shouted Jack. No, stay, help us, shouted Annie. A great serpent glided closer to the ship. Jack stopped. Come on, said Annie. You can do it. Get us to the shore before the ship sinks. Jack closed his eyes. He felt like a ship jerk, then moved forward. He looked out. They were gliding over the giant waves. Jack turned. The greatest serpent was pressing its long leg against the back of the ship, pushing it toward the shore. As the serpent pushed them, the wind grew calmer, the clouds lifted, the water glinted with sunlight. The rocky shore grew closer. Jack could see the trails on the ledge above it. Hurry, Annie called to the serpent monster. The great serpent gave the ship one last push. The ship swooshed and sank by near the shore. Jack put the jeweled book carefully back into his bag. Then he and Annie climbed out of the ship onto the wet sand. They looked back at the sea. The great serpent was rearing its long neck into the air. Its skeleton glittered pink and green in the sunlight. Bye, shouted Annie. Thanks a lot. The monster seemed to nod at her. Then he dove into the sea and was gone. Jack and Annie headed toward the rocks. All of a sudden, Annie gasped. Uh-oh, she was pointing to the top of the cliff. 2 Vikings were staring down at them. To the treehouse, cried Jack. The Viking shouted and stared down the steep stair. Jack and Annie began scrambling up the rock. They reached the treehouse and climbed inside. Jack grabbed the pencil book. Annie stared head out the window. Go home! Stop causing trouble! She yelled to the Vikings, who were almost to the ledge. Jack pointed at the picture of the frog cake wood. I wish we could go there! I wish we could go there! Jack shouted. Just as the Viking reached the ledge, the wind began to blow. The trio started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Sunrise. Boy, I'm glad to be back in my jeans, said Annie. Jack opened his eyes. He still felt damp, but he was glad to be wearing his jeans again, too. Welcome home, said Morgan. She was standing on the shadows. Are you all right? Of course, piped Annie. And we brought back the lost book, said Jack. We reached in the backpack and took out the jeweled book of Brother Mitchell. He handed it to Morgan. Ancient sight. She ran her hand over the sparkling cover. A great work of art, she said. Morgan, then she put the book next to the Scroll of Roman Times and the bamboo book from the ancient China. I'm afraid the story you wanted is not all there, said Jack. Brother Mitchell didn't get the chance to finish it. Morgan nodded. I know, she said sadly. We have only bits and pieces of many wonderful old stories. What's the story about, said Nanny. It's an ancient Earth tale about a great serpent named Sarp, said Morgan. He saved us by pushing our ships over to stormy waves. And we say Sarp was a huge, ugly monster, said Jack. Morgan smiled.
Serpent is a snake.
Sometimes monsters can be heroes, she said. What about Viking? Asked Jack. Oh, most definitely. Viking could be heroes too, she said. In fact, once the Vikings settled down, they became more than just warrior people. They actually added a lot of civilization. We found civilization on our trip, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. The labyrinth of Monastery. Morgan smiled again. The labyrinth was a light in the dark edges, wasn't it? She said. Jack nodded. He saw her brother Matriel and the other monks made their beautiful books by candlelight. Thank you. Also, great card, Morgan said. You're the most heroes too. Jack smiled shyly. Go home now and rest, said Morgan. Bye, Jack and Annie said together. They started down the terrace ladder. The sky was turning pink and gold. When they reached the ground, Morgan called out to them, Come back in 2 weeks. I need you to find one more lost book. Where is it, said Jack? It's in Greece, said Morgan. A place with the highest civilization and the first Olympic Games. Oh, wow, said Annie. Jack was thrilled. She had always wanted to go to southern Greece. Jack and Annie took off through the woods. The sun was rising when they got to their front porch. Annie opened the front door. She stuck her hands inside and listened. Everything's quiet, she whispered. I think Mom and Dad are still sleeping. She moved quietly inside. Jack turned back to watch the red sun rise through the clear blue sky. He thought about how it was the same sun that had risen in Ireland over 1,000 years ago. Oh, light of the sun, Jack whispered. On this day filled with wonder, then he slipped inside his quiet house.